I didn't even know I had cancer at the first place. What happened is that I started getting some blood when I'm urinating. I went through several tests like urinalysis. I was now diagnosed with cancer, and that's what I was around somewhere in June. The type of cancer I had was not very conclusive. It was not being able to be staged. My name is David Kimani Kongo. I am a businessman. I was born in Mutoinde village in the Urinating market. I am a businessman. I do few contracts here and there. And since the COVID time, I have been operating in my house, and the business has been a bit low since the COVID time. Personally, the challenge I faced is during the COVID time is when I was diagnosed with a rare cancer of the bladder. That is the biggest challenge I faced during the COVID time. First and foremost, I didn't even know I had cancer at the first place. What happened is that I started getting some blood when I'm urinating. I went through several tests like urinalysis. There were several tests which were done until eventually I was done as a cystoscopy. That is through the urethra. That is the time during that operation when I was now diagnosed with cancer, and that's what I was around somewhere in June. I was operated for that cancer at MP Hospital. The type of cancer I had was not very conclusive. It was not being able to be staged. So that was one of the biggest challenges. So we didn't know it is a cancer, as kind of a sarcoma, but we didn't know what stage I was. So after that, I was done some few tests here and there, and there was maybe suspicion maybe the cancer might have gone much more. But it needed to be confirmed through a PET scan. Is when my family and my friend decided, it was during our COVID time, around August there, my family decided I need to go abroad. So after a lot of discussion, we thought the only best place is Germany hospital in Dubai called Saudi Germany Hospital in Dubai. So we decided to go there now for a second opinion. They recommended I should take the biopsy sample to save on costs, so that maybe they can be able to determine maybe the kind of cancer, or be able to stage and to be able to know properly what cancer it was. So I went there. They tried to stage the cancer. They could only suspect it is still high grade, but they could not be able to clearly indicate if it is invasive or not invasive. So they decided to do, they requested I should do another biopsy or another operation to go through my another cystoscopy, that is going through the urethra and entering my bladder and taking another sample. We agreed, and I remember on a Thursday I I was booked to go for that operation on a Saturday. And I was requested to do now the COVID test. Prior to going to Dubai, I had done a COVID test in Kenya, which was negative. And immediately I entered Dubai, I did another test of COVID, which was still negative. So I was not an worried man about that. I was accompanied by my friend Joseph Gishungwa. So I did the test on Thursday. On Friday, a message came. I didn't have any symptom, was quite okay. And it said I was positive. So that now changed all my plan. I could not now be admitted for operation until now 14 days. So we went back to the hotel. No, I got a report from the hotel. Because I didn't have symptom, we are told to contact the Dubai Health. So they said if you have no symptom, you can stay, whatever. But my friend started developing problem, and he was immediately tested, and he tested positive. Within three days, my friend was much serious. So we are forced now, we must go for isolation. So we were taken to isolation in the desert. There is a desert, whatever. Then because we were covered by insurance, the visa has a very big insurance. So if you have money to pay, you can go to, there was an isolation, a 5-star isolation center. So we opt to be transferred now to a hotel in the old airport, where we went for isolation. I didn't have any symptom, and eventually I left my friend in hospital. Prior to going, one of the opinion was that if they conclude it is high, my cancer is invasive and whatever, I opt to go for a complete radical robotic surgery, which is quite expensive. So I went back to the hospital now. I left my friend in isolation because he stayed even a bit longer. He extended it even about another 7 days more because of his was a bit severe, and he was doing some medication. So I went to the operation. So my doctor took me through the procedure. If I'm ready with whatever is going to go on, if they're going to go on, I said, okay, as long as you're not removing the blood, I have no money. But I have a committee arranging in case I'm ready, in case of whatever. So he told me, okay, I'll go to the biopsy operation again. Then we can decide what to do. So after the operation, the doctor told me I'm quite okay. Okay, and I want to repeat, before they did the biopsy of my cancer, they were unable to. They just said it's hard, and then they informed me they might try to stain it, which will cost me about even 1.2 to try and stain that sample again. So that's why they had recommended now they do another biopsy. So the doctor said, okay, no, it's okay. Even the doctor after the surgery told me, okay, my preliminary investigation, I didn't find anything. I don't think you may need to remove a bladder. How I found whatever operation were done in Kenya, I found it quite okay. So he said, okay, I don't think at the moment I can say we need to remove your bladder. But let's wait for the pathologist report. The pathologist report came back and said I'm negative for cancer. At that time I was a bit confused. Is it a mistake in Kenya? blah, blah, blah. I went even back to now the doctor. He said, no. There was cancer, and it was properly surgically removed. There's no doubt there was cancer from the other samples, and it can be surgically removed. So we discussed, and then he told me, okay, he advised me either we can try to do what can I do? He said, okay, I can recommend you do certain six chemo. The 6 chemo is it's done through the brother, and I had done one here in Kenya before. He recommended another kind of a chemo, and then he said, but what you need now, you need to do a cystoscopy every 3 months. A cystoscopy roughly costs 700,000, and by the way, my insurance had already refused to be paying anything beyond 1.2. I had already gone beyond all those kind of money. My insurance was paying, even up to now, it can only pay up to 1.2. I went to another cystoscopy last week, which is already 700. So I don't have an insurance based on the kind of the sickness, because they consider it pre-existing. So they pay a very small percentage, which is about 1.2. So I decided now, he told me now, what you need to be doing is this surgery every 3 months. Do a CT scan between for the next, as long as for the next 10 years when we can say it is cleared. So eventually we were able to come. We took a bit of time because of my friend, even when he got to hospital, out of the hospital, he was still testing positive. And to get a PCR to come to Kenya is kind of the airline doesn't, as long as, even if he was reached by the hospital, and according to World Health rules, they were saying he is okay. But if he is testing positive, he can't affect anybody. It's just because of his severe whatever. But the airline could not agree. All they want is a negative result. So we took time. We almost, even our visa expired. We almost had our Christmas in Dubai. But eventually, by luck, he tested negative, and we were able to come back. Back in Kenya, I went and bought the chemo from MP Shah Hospital. It was almost around Christmas, so I went and did another dose through my doctor, Dr. Waeru. But 3 days later, I had serious effect on me. I had to be admitted. And the doctor said that because this was not very necessary, we better leave it. Most of during the Christmas and part of after Christmas and part of New Year, I was most of the time in the hospital because I had serious infection. And in the Dubai, during Dubai, what they did, they put something called stent, connecting my kidney, because the kidney was a bit bent, the pipe from the kidney to the whatever, because of the operation which I had in Nairobi. So it was a bit bent, so they had to put me a stent in Dubai. And it was supposed to be either removed 1 month, but they said because you have to do a surgery within 3 months, it should be removed 3 months. So eventually now my infection was very continuous. I was leaving the hospital 2 days, I'm back because it is infectious. Until now, the doctor said now it is, and even everybody's opinion was maybe it is a stent. My infection was very continuous. I was leaving the hospital 2 days, I'm back because it is infectious.